Hey everybody, it is Mark again. So I had someone ask me the other day if I was going to be running a game at the Fire and Ice Con this year, which is local here to Cincinnati, which I am going to be running a game. I just figured I would do a real quick pre-game setup. So for those who've never traveled with train and stuff like that, something I found really useful. I actually have one of the mobile like stackable cases that actually has 4 different levels where you can stack up the very top ones, one for like nuts and bolts, which I use that to basically travel with my miniatures, and then there's a couple different size of this particular piece that clicks on there. That way I can put like all my train in one, a couple books into one. I'm pretty strict on my diet, so I'll literally have one with just like a cooler in it and like my phone, maybe a battery charger for my tablet and stuff like that if I need one, and then the top one is always going to be my miniatures. But what I like to do before I even pack stuff up, I like to put all the miniatures I'm going to be using, maybe a couple optional ones, some train little pieces, like some little bits like this, treasure, stuff like that. And then I'll go ahead and set up the terrain. That way, one, I can take a picture when I'm done here today. That way I know exactly how I'm going to be setting things up. And then two, that way I kind of have all the pieces set up if there's anything I want to add. Like I have a couple extra pieces over here. So that way if I want to rearrange the one room, if there's room on the table. So some of the different conventions have different size tables and things like that. So just kind of give you an idea of what the setup's going to be like. This one's going to be the Return to the Infernal Vault, which is hopefully a game I'm going to be running for a group of players here at my home not too long from now. So you have to pardon my voice. I'm getting over this stupid Ebola flu that's going around. So yeah, it just kind of gives you an idea of what the train setup's going to be like, which I'll take another picture and probably post once everything is all set up. And after the game itself, of course. But yeah, like I said, kind of nice and simple, not too big. It's only a 4-hour slot. And this one's going to be a little role-playing for them to get into the the dungeon. Basically, the Infernal Vault in the Pathfinder Society at one time was this like a treasure vault of this rich family that had some of these, kind of weird collectibles underneath of this villa townhouse. So it's been plundered. It's been several years have gone by. The city's been rearranged. People have bought the property, leveled the original house, and then a new house is built up. And for what this quest is going to be is this house that's built basically right next door where the original manor was. All of a sudden this like little sinkhole opens up in their basement, kind of like a little wine cellar. And all of a sudden these, giant ants and spiders and things are crawling out of here, and, they can't figure out what the hell's going on. They send an exterminator down there. They figure it's just like a bug infestation. Come to find out there's this elaborate series of tunnels. So I'm going to try to utilize the newer burrow pieces a little bit just to kind of segue into an abandoned piece of the Infernal Vault. And that's going to unlock a particular area. And then, of course, I'm going to lock it off where there's a landslide there. So yeah, like I said, a nice segue into an adventure without doing the whole, you guys are in a tavern and blah, blah, blah. But another question I get quite a lot is how do I travel or how do I store kind of like fiddly little bits of train? So I try to keep, especially small bits, kind of, all separate. I have 4 of these tubs. I have bar pieces, stairs, ladders, beds. These are actually like some beads that just kind of look like some weird urns. Let's see if I can dig something out of here. So this is the chainmail or mithril armor from the Lord of the Rings miniatures. So I'm always on the lookout for kind of odds and ends stuff I can add. Various Kickstarters. Some weird little fiddly bits all in there. So what I'll do is I'll actually just take this whole bin with us, and then once I get everything all set up, I'll just add some little bits here and there, you know, to kind of fill in the dungeon, kind of make it look a little more like at one time, you know, it had treasures in it and it was plundered. So yeah, like I said, just kind of gives you guys a kind of a simple idea of how I travel with everything when it's all set up, or I should say how I set it up when I travel. But like I said, I'll start packing this stuff up in my travel bin, which you have to pardon the mess. My wife and I are trying to organize crap from Christmas, and of course she has to. Love my wife, but whenever there's not a gaming session going on in the house, she feels the need to use drying racks in my game room, since obviously it's off the laundry room there. But yeah, like I said, I'll get this stuff all packed up. That way tomorrow morning, you know, I can roll into the convention. You know, if I got 30 minutes, an hour, whatever to set up, I'll get everything set up probably literally in like 15 minutes. That way I have time to go over my notes. I'll make a couple of note cards with, you know, some things to pass out to players. Like in this particular room, this is actually like a deep water pool, and there's a zombie shark in there. So the shark's actually one I resin printed on my resin printer and painted up for this. But basically the water has this like calming effect when you're in the room. Everyone's going to make a will save. They're going to feel very relaxed. Like, you know, man, you know, your feet have been hurting and you just want to, you know, stick your feet in the cool water. You know, what happens is if they fail that will save and they stick their feet in the cold water, you know, it's like, oh, it's really relaxing. So it's going to take 2 rounds for the shark to kind of activate and kind of swim up, you know, because of the motion of the water. And then what happens is on the second round, you know, it's like, man, you know, your feet feel really refreshed. You feel really good. You think maybe you should just take a dip in the water. That way, if someone does get in the water, they're going to take the disadvantages or the, you know, the minuses to being in the water while being attacked and stuff like that. So should be a pretty interesting adventure. Like I said, it's going to be, we're trying to keep it under 4 hours or right around 4 hours. So of course they're going to have a little bit of role playing, a fair amount of combat, and there's going to be some different skill checks involved to figure out certain things. There's going to be, of course, a couple traps. Yeah, like I said, and hopefully what I can do is I can actually do a Return to the Infernal Vault Part 2, the following convention for next year. Because what I can do is I can do the next level where they're able to actually go up, or maybe even hire someone to dig this section out. That way they can unlock the rest of this level. So, all right, guys. Well, I've got to start packing this stuff up so I can get ready for the convention. Hopefully my voice holds out for tomorrow, so I'm going to be sucking down a lot of fluid and trying to rest my voice today. But hopefully you guys are all having a fantastic weekend. Hopefully you guys are all got some gaming going on as well. And I will see you guys on the other side. Bye-bye.